Three, two, one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On the Red Couch with Max Power. I am Duffman, and as you can see, I'm on a couch.
Still red.
It is still red.
Todavía está rojo.
As you can see, I'm dressed up as Duffman tonight. I've got Santa's little helper, aka Paisley, right here. And then my fabulous co-host, Bumblebee Man.
¡Ay, mi estómago!
aka a little coronavirus action.
Yeah.
Aka Antonio Picante. And it took us 6 episodes, but we finally decided we're going to do a Simpsons episode.
It only took 6.
It only took 6 episodes. So for the next, I don't know how long, we are going to review the Treehouse of Horror series, all 30 seasons. 30 seasons?
30 episodes.
All 30 episodes. We're going to talk about them, not all in detail, because some of them are kind of a little rough to watch.
Woo!
We'll tell you what we came up with, and then we're going to pick our favorites.
Favorite clips.
Or
favorite
skits.
complete episodes.
Yeah. Complete episodes. So what me and Bumblebee Man did over the weekend,
Ay, Dios mío.
or last weekend, I guess, when we're watching this, when you guys watch this, we watched Saturday and Sunday. We watched all 30 episodes. We actually we were gonna
we went through the first 10 on Saturday because old boy here wanted to go catch some soccer in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I bought the ticket, so I'm
yeah.
gonna go.
So we wound up watching 20 episodes. 20.
Yeah, it was rough
on Sunday, and they weren't cream of the crop episodes.
It was 20 of the newer episodes, which was kind of rough. Yeah,
16 through 30 was starting to get was 16. I think was where I was like, oh man,
yeah.
I don't know if I can last this marathon.
There was.
You want to apply for some credit cards, Santos?
There was a part towards the end where I started kind of doing the head nod doze. You know, there was a little part where I kind of started just kind of dozing off. A lot of people talk about The Simpsons and how after like the 15th season, I think it's kind of the limit. But after that, it kind of just goes downhill.
Most people say 10.
Yeah.
But you're being a little bit.
I'm being a little more generous. Yeah.
You're being generous with 15.
Let's just say I'll say 15. Let's just say after the 15th season, it goes really downhill.
Yeah.
And the Treehouse of Horror episodes perfectly reflected that to me. Now, there was some cool episodes with a couple of cool skits, but overall, I really think it was probably like after maybe the 13th episode is when I just was like, I watched them, but I was like, this is not entertaining at all.
How much of that was your own fault, having the notion already instilled in your head that first 10 and then the rest are?
Well,
because there were some episodes in there that you had never seen before, so that the unknown didn't keep your interest, or at least pique your interest, or by like 17 or 18, we were already like checked out.
I mean, I wasn't fully checked out. It was just, the Simpsons, like, they're real. They're real.
Yeah,
You can't see them on the camera because Santa's little helper, but yeah, they're real. Look, I got a 6-pack right here. It's like halfway up my chest. Whatever.
It's 2020. The girls are digging the kegger now.
Some girls.
Some girls.
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with because I always give The Simpsons a chance. I've been recently watching the new episodes. This new season just came out, I guess like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm going in fully blind. I've never seen, they're brand new episodes, so I'm gonna go in and watch them. And it's been bad. There's one episode of the last season, the 31st season they're on now.
32nd season they're on now.
Yes. 32nd season. The first episode was decent. The other 2 episodes they've aired has just been horrible. They were timepieces. Like the one was about like Roman and Greek, like almost like a Hercules kind of thing. The other one was about like Renaissance, like paintings and stuff. It was almost the exact same episode where someone was like telling the story. It wasn't that good. And we were kind of hoping that we would have the new episode for Treehouse of Horrors, but because of baseball, they pushed it. They pushed it to
this Sunday.
This Sunday, which will be tomorrow.
Yeah,
when you're watching this,
November 1st.
Yeah. So,
regardless, I had fucking fun watching it.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
It's funny because every single time after every single episode, I looked at you and you wrote in your notes. You gave a ranking of every kind of episode we had, every little skit. So each episode had 3 skits. You wrote, and every single time we saw one, you literally went, or you were like, that's going on the bottom of the list.
On Sunday. There's a lot of that on Sunday.
And then you're like, I found a new one I don't like. That's the new number 1 for the lowest and bottom. It
was a race to the bottom.
It's a little hot in this house. Oh yeah, Duffman can't breathe.
Oh no. For circulation, you need to keep flexing. So I need new clothes every like 30 seconds.
All right. So, do you want to talk about the good, the bad, or the?
I think we went through most of the bad. Sunday was a bit of a chore. A bit. Saturday was an equal chore because it was very hard to. Again, I was the one that was ranking every single skit, and some of them were hard. Because growing up, I had spoiler alert. Growing up, and even now, I write a lot of poetry. When I was younger, I was a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe. A couple of weeks ago, to a friend, I told her the Raven's probably my favorite Simpsons ever.
Go the Raven, nevermore.
Yeah, and then as we started going through the episodes, poor Raven just started going lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't even think it cracked my top 10.
No.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Because, again, times have changed. I've watched a lot of movies that a lot of these skits reference that I hadn't watched before, so they have more meaning.
There's also a lot of movies that you haven't seen, which is why we have a whole other series with pictures. There was a bunch of times where I was like, have you ever seen this movie? This is what they're referring. Have you ever seen this movie? This is what they're referring. You seen this movie? And we just did that pretty much
a lot.
Especially as the series went on, we did that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My list. I'm surprised with my list. I haven't even gone back to re-look at it, to reevaluate it, to move stuff around. This list here is what ended at Sunday when we were done. So I haven't messed with any of it. So my top 10 little skits, I haven't messed with it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me hear. Give me your number 10. Give me your number 10.
Number 10.
I only did 5 because they're not in any order. I just was like, these are my 5. But give me a 10. Give me a solid 10.
I'll start with a little tease. Number 11. We talked so much about how bad the later episodes were. Number 11 is actually from episode 28.
They all just blended together. So
yeah, That's why for anybody that's looking. There was a rut in those last couple of episodes where they were strictly just doing covers of movies or covers of TV shows.
Just straight.
Yeah.
Almost scene for scene.
So to see something unique really got my attention, and I had never seen it before. So this is my first time watching it. So on my number 11 from episode 28 is Homer. So Homer's at home alone while the family's out on vacation for a week, and after the first day, Homer runs out of food.
Surprise, surprise.
Of course. He accidentally cuts off his finger, and he eats it and realizes how delicious he is because he's eating all the food already tender and marinated and juicy and everything.
9% donuts.
Yeah. And so the whole episode, he starts eating himself, like his legs and his toes and his arms and everything. And it was just creative to me because I would have never thought that the fat ass would have been that hungry that he would eat himself.
I feel like that's a reference to something. That the whole thing was a reference to something, like maybe like a Twilight Zone episode or
possibly.
But, I will say that I had never seen that one either. I enjoyed it a lot. That was one of the later seasons that I was like, all right, you got me on this. But then it just kind of, it was like, there's a lot of hit or miss. A lot of the issues with the Simpsons these days is like, before it was very, like on the nose, like they wouldn't fully reference something, but you would get the reference.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, they just blatantly say, it's in your face, it's, oh, Harry Potter, that's Harry Potter. Yeah. Instead of being like, it's a wizard that looks like Harry, it was just like, oh, you're Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
Harry Potter.
Which is like, boom, you're already involved in it. I will add
Is there anything from the recent episodes that was some kind of contention towards your list?
One of the last ones was, was it the Attack of the Clones? Is that what it was called?
I
think it was Attack of the Clones or Invasion of the Clones. Pretty much Homer gets a magic hammock, and whenever he sits on the hammock, he spins, and another Homer comes out, but is dumb, a dumb Homer, and so he makes dumb Homer do all the chores. But then it's just Homer after Homer, and then now there's hundreds of Homers, all doing chores and all being dumb, and then they kind of overpopulate. He takes it out. My favorite part is, did you find it?
Yeah.
What was it called?
It's Send in the Clones.
Send in the Clones. Okay.
My number 10
is Send in the Clones?
Yeah.
All right.
From episode number 13, season 14.
I know it's a little bit later. It's not really. It's in the middle. One of my favorite scenes in that whole entire episode is Homer gets all of the Homers, the clones, into a truck, and he takes them out into the farm, and he goes, "Oh no, just got. Well, you get to see my legs now." Pause for a second. Whatever.
Close enough.
He gets them all into the truck, and then he drives out to the desert, or kind of like a farm, and then he goes, before I leave, does anybody remember how to get back? And he shoots him.
Anybody else?
And he shoots him. Anyone else? And he does it for a good solid minute and a half. And then as he drives off, he goes, now to this, and he just throws it out of the window, and then the other clones pick it up. And then they start multiplying, and they start overtaking the town, and then kind of like the government goes, by this time tomorrow they're going to take over the whole entire country. So they decide that they're going to.
Why didn't I think of this?
Yeah, they're just going to get giant donuts on helicopters and drive them off, and just have all
into
the Homers. Cliff, and they just fall down, which is kind of a throwback to one of the early episodes when
Springfield Gorge.
So all the Homers are falling, and you just hear don't, and it's going down, and then there's just the pile, and then it reveals at the end
that Homer, that the real Homer was the first one to fall off the cliff,
which I thought was a fantastic little. That's the best thing about The Simpsons back in the day was those little tiny things that they little add-ons, like that. Just like the fact that, oh, he was the first one to drop. Like,
of course he would be.
And then you just go on from there. All right, let me hear. What's your number 9?
Oh, man, number 9.
Don't bring that over here. Nope.
Time and Punishment.
Okay.
So that's the episode where Homer fixes the toaster, and he winds up
going. Oh, man.
Just remember the advice I got on my wedding day. If you ever travel through time, don't touch anything. Even the slightest change can alter the future in ways you could never imagine.
Was that your Abe Simpson voice?
I hope not.
Jesus.
The alcohol's already kicking in.
Yes. That's also would be in my top 10. It's
God.
What
of donuts? What? He goes to that one time. He goes to that one length of time where everything is perfect. Luxury car, kids are well trained, nice house, sisters-in-law are dead.
They're about to go to the funeral.
And luxury sedan. Marge, dear, can you kindly pass me a donut?
The one thing about that is, so it starts raining. When he runs back in, it starts raining donuts. How do they clean those up? They would just be piles. When it rains, it just evaporates, but you can't evaporate donuts, right? Anyway, logic. Can't put logic. It's only a cartoon. There was also, oh man, there's a part in there that I couldn't stop laughing at. It's probably the donuts, but when he does he sneeze?
He sneezes on that,
and then all the dinosaurs fall. They just go all the way down.
This one's gonna cost me.
and then okay.
Oh, you put the beer down. You're about to wax.
There is a running gag, and almost towards the Willie, groundskeeper Willie gets shafted so many times in this show.
I can get you home, Homer.
That's not a good accent.
No, that's not. I can get you home.
Stick to your aim. So in almost a lot of those episodes, especially the Willie gets killed.
It started in that episode because he got killed in all 3 of those clips.
Well, it kind of starts later on when it starts earlier than that when he does like the did she knock the chair?
We're audio only this week, folks.
No, I just wore this costume. I'm not gonna Paisley move. Nope. We're not doing this today. No. You can come up here though. It kind of started whenever Willie was they did the whole Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street episode where he became the bad guy. After that episode, then they started kind of messing with him where he would always be the one that got killed or stomped on or died or but so then, Homer,
is this the part that I tell you that episode is after the episode where he dies in all 3?
It's after that episode?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Your argument is invalid, sir. Keep drinking.
I just think it's messed up that Willie always gets the shaft.
Oh no, and
I'm offended, and I want Willie to not be. I want Willie to be the main star.
And played by an actual Scottish person.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
God, here we go. 2020.
Yes, I'm offended. Give me something else.
Number 8. The Omega Man. So that is a tribute to Twilight Zone.
Okay.
There's an episode of the Twilight Zone that I remember watching when I was really young, and it scared me so bad that I stopped watching it. Which is weird because there's no horror, nothing in it. This episode of Twilight Zone is where this guy goes into a bomb shelter, and then when he comes out, the whole world's destroyed.
Yes.
And so the segment ends in downtown where he realizes he's the only person on Earth. So when he takes off his glasses to clean them, they break. So he's the only man alive, but he can't see.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yes,
that is terrifying.
So
that used to wear glasses. Yes.
So I knew even from a younger age when that episode when I started watching that episode where the roots came from. So in this version, Homer's looking for a bomb shelter, and he comes out, and the world's wasted, and he's doing whatever the fuck he wants, and
punches
Milhouse's dad.
Yeah.
And then he runs away from zombies because he realized that the nuke created zombies, and he finds his family's alive because all the lead paint in the house made a perfect bomb shelter. And then just when they're about to make the humans and the zombies unite, the family kills them all.
Of course.
Yeah.
That is a good one. I like that one. What else?
Number 7. I know what you diddly did.
Oh, I actually went to the bathroom with this one, but I've seen this episode. I've seen this skit. It's one of my favorites. Numerous times.
Guess I forgot to put the fog lights in. Can't get enough of that cookie crisp.
That one is the Simpsons are going on a trip, I guess. They're just driving in the car.
Yeah.
It's foggy.
And they run over Flanders.
And they kill Flanders. Well, yeah.
Then it turns out Flanders was a werewolf.
Who was actually trying to kill them. My favorite part is just like, whenever they're like, you go run over here, you go to this, like the abandoned school, you go to the cemetery, and what's the other one? And then like Homer's like, by the time he explains everything,
Flanders, you go over here.
Yeah.
Flanders? Yeah. Which is funny because we talked about that trope in our Friday the 13th episode about how the Geico commercial. It felt like an hour and a half long fucking Geico commercial, and that's what that Simpsons episode was. Yeah, fucking hilarious. One that climbed up the ranks as I was watching it. Number 6, House of Wax.
Okay, give me this one. What is it?
That's the I haven't seen this movie, but I think it's Stanley Kubrick. Is it Space Odyssey 2001, or is it another movie that has the control panel with the red dot that controls like the whole like space station or something?
Oh, okay.
This is the episode where Pierce Brosnan controls the House of the Future, and Pierce Brosnan has this huge hard-on for Marge, so he tries to kill Homer.
Yes.
So Marge wakes up in the morning and sees the family picture, and Homer's face is covered with a picture of the panel.
Just his head, though.
Yeah.
It's just a panel. It's kind of cool that Pierce Brosnan was the voice.
Yeah, he did a good job, especially afterwards, where the machine winds up going to Patty and Selma, and the machine's trying to kill himself because he can't have it.
He has a self-destruct button, and he's trying to reach the self-destruct button, and either Patty or Selma's just and she's just like looking for this, and then she just slides it down. Ugh. That is that was one of my favorite ones out of it. Like,
that's season 12. That's season 13. It's episode 12.
See, there's still. I mean, people say after season 10 it kind of goes downhill.
So far in my bottom 10, it's season 12, season 10, season 8, season 5, season 13. That's my bottom half of top 10.
Okay, let me hear some more.
Number 5, Desperately Seeking Xena. Stretch Dude and Clover Girl. Oh man,
must strike pose. It's a collectible.
Yeah. So basically, this kid. Something goes wrong in the school science fair, and Bart and Lisa get superpowers, and so now that's how they do. That's the show. The Stretch Dude and Clover Girl. That's how they get their powers. The villain's comic book guy is the collector. Obviously, and
he has a bunch of celebrities.
Yeah,
he's putting kind of like in like comic book protector shields.
Yeah, and he kidnaps Xena, Lucy Lawless at Comic-Con, and the heroes try to save her. That was funny.
I love that shit when she's like, "Must remove metal," and then all the nerds, and she's like, "Never mind." And then what does she say? At the end she's
and
like,
then she fly, and then they all leave together, and Lucy grabs a boat and they start flying, and they goes, "Wait a minute, Xena can't fly." It's like, kids, I told you, I'm not Xena, I'm Lucy Lawless. So Lucy Lawless can fly.
Yes,
apparently,
which makes sense.
Yeah, have you seen her?
I have. I've watched. Did you ever watch Xena back in
the day? Yeah.
It was an interesting show.
My number 4. The Shining. Do I have to? Sidebar. In the beginning of this year, I was dating somebody, and she heard through the grapevine that I had never seen The Shining.
You told her.
I told her, yeah. And
there's no
so we saw The Shining together, but the only problem was for the first 15 minutes, I couldn't concentrate on it because I was already getting Simpsons callbacks.
Yes.
Because I'd seen The Shining from The Simpsons over 100 times.
The
Shining from The Simpsons over 100 times. And so I told her, I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. Can we please just take 10 minutes? And
23 minutes.
No, we just saw that one clip.
Oh, okay.
Just the Shining episode of The Simpsons. And she completely understood.
Well, I mean,
and then we went back and watched it, and we saw the whole thing, and then, and a bunch of other things. But yeah, so Shining. So they obviously are aware that The Shining is already a thing because they call it The Shining to avoid getting sued, copyright infringement.
Yes.
But there's a lot of stuff on this list has to do with one-liners and quotes and
What's your one-liner out of this one?
Oh, all no TV and no beer make Homer something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do. Ah! Give it a bat, Marge. Give it a bat.
That's also that's obviously the more classic line. that a lot of people use throughout, like, but also when Willie, he's like, whenever you need me, just use that shin of yours, but don't do it between 4 and 6. That's Willie's time. Again, Willie getting shafted. Obviously, that happens.
The fat boy and his family needs me.
And he goes in, and then as soon as he gets in, he gets whacked from the back.
Is that the best you can do?
All right, what's number 3 on your list?
Ooh, this is now we're gonna get into controversial territory because everybody's gonna have a whole, like, a sacred top 3 at least. Mine's out there. Number 3 from episode number 9 from season 10. For whatever reason, it just couldn't get knocked off my list. Starship Poopers.
Okay, what's that one?
So Starship Poopers is the episode where the family finds out that Maggie is actually Kang's daughter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they show the story of how Marge got impregnated, and the family of the aliens want to take the baby back to Rigel 4. Family disagrees, so they wind up going on Jerry Springer. The alien kills Springer,
actually Jerry Springer,
and Jerry Springer's actually on there. And I just thought it was so fucking funny. And
that's in your top 3. Wow.
For me, it still holds up because oddly enough, my Samsung TV has these like digital channels, and one of them is the Nosy channel. So it's Maury, Springer.
You got Ricky Lake on there?
No, it's Maury, Springer, Wilkos, and a whole bunch of Blind Date. That's it.
That's a weird channel.
It's a weird channel, yeah. But I've been watching a bunch of fucking Maury and Jerry Springer.
That's a good channel.
And it still holds up. Sustainable stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the story was funny. I liked it. Again, originality.
True.
So,
that's interesting that's on your top 3. That is.
What's in your top 3? Give me one. Pull up your list.
I don't really have them in order. I do have House of Wax on there. Send in the Clones. I'd probably put The Raven in my top 3.
Yeah.
It's a classic. As you can see, I got The Raven back here.
Nevermore. My shorts. Yeah. And that's still like a third of the actual poem. The poem is long as fuck.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had the Raven episode memorized until I realized that there was so much more to it.
You were like, oh, I know that. I've read that. It's
yeah.
Like, no, you haven't.
And like, you're missing this. I was like, God damn it. But yeah. And it has James Earl Jones narrating, which is a plus.
Yep.
He has, and not just because of the Darth Vader, but he has a unique, deep, bassy voice that in a setting like Halloween, like
he's on the, because he does the voice of the third alien on that episode too, where the cook, the chef, he's the voice of that too. And then I think he's in the next year's episode as well.
Yeah,
he does another voice in there. It's a nice little touch. Him reading it, dude. He, like a lot of people say Morgan Freeman could read you anything. I wouldn't mind hearing him just read me something, anything you want. Yeah. If you read the rest of The Raven, I don't care. Just sit there and like. I wonder if he does some audiobooks or something like that. Yeah. Like I want to hear a podcast of him just talking about stuff.
And then adding the little Simpsons twist to it because Lisa's reading this story to Bart. That's from the first episode of Treehouse of Horror.
I said Bart.
That's from the very first episode. So this is like from jump. The episode itself is Bart is telling Lisa scary stories. He goes 0 for 2. Lisa's not scared, so Lisa pulls out her book and reads Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. So I like the little addition they did during the episode where Lenore's husband opens the door because he hears noise and he's expecting something, and Bart goes, "This better be good." And there was nothing, and then Bart tells Lisa, "You know what would have been better than nothing? Anything." Yeah. So.
Also, the fact where he's like, when the Raven's about to talk, and then instead of saying nevermore, he goes, "Eat my shorts." That is another classic.
And another part that I want to mention before we go any further, if there isn't much further left. I was worried about the quality of the episode. Not so much the quality, but I own like the first half of the series on DVD. Mm-hmm. And when you're watching the episodes on DVD, they have an uncut option to where, say you're watching an episode, there's going to be during some clips, there's going to be like a little scissors thing that pops up on the bottom corner. Mm-hmm. If you press the enter button, it'll play you that bonus, that unaired clip that would have never made it to television. So that where Bart says, "Eat my shorts," that never made original airing of The Simpsons. That's actually a DVD bonus. There's a lot of extras that came out in these episodes, and I was kind of I was very satisfied that Disney went that extra effort to air the complete.
Yeah, we watched it on the Disney Plus.
For example, there's the also from the first episode where the Bad Dream House, where they find out that there's ghosts and shit in there. There's a scene in there where Homer calls the realtor and starts asking him, "Why didn't you mention this shit to me about the fucking ghost? That it's buried on an ancient Indian burial ground." That clip never made it to original air. So if you don't have the DVDs or if you don't have Disney, if you're watching it on FX or on regular Fox, you'll never see that. Never. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know that.
Yeah. So those little extra touches there. So there's extra lines in the Raven and the DVD that don't make air because they had to narrow it down for time constraints or whatever. So I'm glad that they aired the uncut, but at the same time, the newer episodes that I've never seen or that I haven't bought on DVD, I don't know what's
different.
What's different about it. So I just assumed they were all just like the way they were presented.
Huh. I didn't know that.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
So Ravens in your top 3, huh?
Yeah. What do you got? What's your
my number 2. Whoo, Nelly. The Devil and Homer.
That's mine too.
Tell him, son. Tell him.
This one is just everything about it to me is almost perfect. Homer is fantasizing about having donuts, eating a donut at work. So he's actually dreaming. He's at a like a runway show.
Oh yeah, they're actually donuts.
A sexy donut with nice legs. But then it pulls back to him waking up with the box of donuts in his hands.
And there's none.
And he opens it up and there's none. So then he says
he goes to his desk. I have an emergency donut. Yes. He opens the big, huge ass manual. I owe you one, dear Homer. I owe you one emergency donut. Sign Homer. Bastard! He's always one step ahead.
So then he pretty much says he will do anything for
sell his soul for a donut.
And then Ned, which is
the devil.
Which I griped about this earlier. In the earlier seasons, Ned was always portrayed as the devil in the Halloween specials. And then later on, he kind of goes away from that. And then it's more, then like Mo was the devil once. Then they just get a generic devil. I think they should have just kept it true and kept Flanders as the devil. It would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So he sells his soul to the devil.
But if I don't eat this last bite, you don't get my soul, do you? I'm smarter than the devil. So he finally eats it, and then he winds up going to, they set a court date. But in the meantime, he's spending the day in hell.
Yes.
So Homer's in hell.
And what do you
torture him?
What do you torture him with?
All the donuts in the world. And he ate them all.
More.
You know what I couldn't stop thinking about in that scene?
What?
Oakley Dokley. That song Donut Hell.
Yep.
And then they have the trial.
If you guys don't know.
Oh my God, if you don't know.
If you are watching this and you're a Simpsons fan and you've never heard of Oakley Dokley, do yourself a favor. Whenever you can go and see live bands again, go see them. Go buy their albums. Go buy their T-shirts.
Listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music.
However you listen to music. They are a heavy metal band.
Heavy metal band.
Yes.
Heavy Ned. Oh. Why?
No. They're dedicated to Ned Flanders.
Yes.
They all dress up as Ned Flanders. They have different versions. Well, they're all names, but all their songs are Simpsons related, mostly Ned related. And they do have a song called Donut Hell.
Which is literally based on, it's actual dialogue from the episode that they turned into lyrics, which they added to song and became Donut Hell. It's fucking hilarious.
We've seen them live twice.
Yeah. Was supposed to be thrice this year.
Yeah.
And then everything happened.
But yeah, definitely check them out. They are fantastic. That's just a little side note, little tidbit just for y'all. Anyway, back to that episode. Homer, the court date. Who did they get as a lawyer?
The Reaper, Grim Reaper.
No, that's the judge. They get Lionel Hutz.
Oh, they get the judge. They get Lionel
Hutz. And as everyone knows, Lionel Hutz is the best lawyer in Springfield.
The only lawyer in Springfield, apparently. Everyone else is from Shelbyville.
True.
I went to school in Shelbyville.
And who's the jury? Who's on the jury?
Oh my God, the jury of the damned. John Wilkes Booth, Blackbeard the Pirate, Lizzie Borden, Richard Nixon.
I'm not dead.
I just did an article for Redbook. The starting lineup of the 1976 Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
John Wilkes Booth.
You said them already.
How many do I have?
I think it's
So the hockey players are 6.
Yeah, but that's 5. I think you counted 5.
Lizzie Borden, Blackbeard the Pirate, John Wilkes Booth,
Nixon. You did 5.
George Washington.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
And obviously the Reaper, the Devil. Devil is going to be the lawyer.
Yeah.
Lionel Hutz skips out because he can't handle it.
No, he made the case for Homer to lose.
Yeah.
In like the opening statement, so he bolted.
Webster's dictionary describes it.
Which is unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
Excuse me, I must use a bathroom.
And then they wait like an hour.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't think he's coming back.
Mr. Hutz, the bathroom doors opens and the windows open and all the wind's coming in. So as soon as Homer's about to lose the trial, Marge breaks out the wedding album and show a picture of Homer and Marge in the hospital on their wedding day because he ate the entire cake by himself before the wedding. And so on the back of the picture, Homer declares his love for Marge and giving her soul. I can only repay with my soul. And so the jury fights in favor of Marge, so Homer gets to keep his soul. But Ned, in revenge, damns Homer forever with a donut head.
Yes.
An edible donut head because he's picking at it in the next scene. The cops are outside waiting with coffee. Don't worry, boys. You'll come out sooner or later. Yeah.
I also like whenever Homer's like, it's like towards the beginning when Homer's in the kitchen and Bart walks in.
Oh, the devil.
He's just like, hey, Bart. He's like, hey, like whatever, like nothing. Like they're cool, they're buddies. They hang out all the time.
Oh, and
like,
with Mr. Burns too, it's like,
that,
oh, that's the Prince of Darkness, sir. That's your 4 o'clock.
You know, Mr. Burns isn't in a lot of these episodes.
Nah.
I think. Well, he's in a lot of them, but not
focal.
Yeah.
Not the focal point of it.
All right.
What's your number 2?
That was my number 2 as well.
Oh shit. What's your number 1? So I think we have the same number 1. Spoiler alert. He just turned at me like we're about to make out. What's the number 1?
I mean, we might. My number 1. Well, yeah. At this point in time, because it might always change, is Homer squared or Homer cubed. Is that yours?
Explain to the audience what Homer cubed is.
Marge's sisters are coming over, Patty and Selma, and he's trying to hide. So he goes into the closet, and both the kids are there. Bart and Lisa are there, so he can't find. And then he goes to the bookcase.
He tries to hide under the carpet in the living room, and the dog and the cat are already hiding under there. And it's flat.
So he decides there's a bookcase all of a sudden. So he hides behind it, and he finds out there's like a portal, I guess would be, and he falls into the 3rd dimension. And so we get to see Homer in 3D. Now this is 90. What year is this?
94.
It's early,
94,
so the graphics, the effects of 3D was a little bit different back then.
Yeah.
As a kid, I loved it. I was like, I want more of this. I want to see more of this. I want to know what the hell this is. So he gets stuck in the 3rd dimension. They try and get help. They try and help him out. Bart goes into the 3rd dimension.
Has anybody ever seen that movie Tron?
No.
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 Yes. Well, no. So
now.
Homer kind of pierces a hole. A cone goes up his ass. And so
watch it, Coney.
He throws it away, makes a hole in the ground, and he gets sucked into our dimension pretty much. Yeah. And so as a kid, because I mean, I was probably like 6 or 7 when this episode came out. So to see Homer in our world, like it blew my mind. I was like, I want to see.
Where is he?
I remember that because I used to watch it every Sunday when it came out on Sky One. We would watch it, and then I would have a bath, and I would go to bed because I'm a kid. And I literally like next week I was like, what's gonna happen with Homer? Like, where's he gonna go? And in the next episode,
you didn't realize that the Halloween went off.
I didn't get it. I didn't get. And also, the Simpsons aren't continuing.
Yeah.
So whatever happens when he, but I was like, oh man, I can't wait till next week because I'm gonna find out what Homer does in our world, and he's not in there, and I'm like, man, what the hell? Well, maybe it's the next week. Maybe did I miss it? Is this an old episode? So I remember being really disappointed as a kid because I wanted to see more of Homer eating erotic cakes.
That's my number 1 too. Yep.
Why is it your number 1?
It's unique. The animation holds up.
It does, yes.
The humor still holds up. Bart going after his dad, there's a bit of nobility there. If you're watching The Simpsons from the beginning, you know Bart's the only one that doesn't call his father dad. He always calls him Homer all the time. So you would think that there's not that much of a strong relationship there. So to see Bart be the one to go, fuck this noise, ties her up around her waist and just like hauls ass for him, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. Not that I'm trying to get too fucking like sympathetic on the guy episode, but that's how you get hooked on all these episodes because the theme that they're using in the Halloween episodes where they're basically doing covers of other movies and TV shows, we're investing in these characters because they're continuing from the episodes and seasons before. True. So knowing all that gives it a lot more emotional equity, I guess. Yeah. So there was something in me that just didn't let any episode or any skit go over that. That was the measuring stick, and nothing went over it. Interesting. And when all this time, the last couple of years, even before, I thought that the Raven was the one, and as more episodes started going, here, if I go down this list,
what is the Raven now?
21.
Jeez.
21.
Wow.
Yeah. So above the Raven is Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores. Classic. The signs. Yep.
Advertisers.
The Genesis tub where Lisa creates the little world with her tooth. A sleeper, Hell to Pay, where Snake gets revenge and Homer gets the donation of steak. Barney, dibs on the liver. Another new one that climbed up the ranks, School is Hell. I thought that was pretty cool, where Bart finds another dimension to go to hell, and he's the straight A student there, and Bart wants to stay.
I did like the fact when Lisa, the cool chicks, asked Lisa to hang out with her, and then it snows, and then she's like,
and it'd be a cold day in hell.
And actually, before I got to hang out with the cool kids.
Season 7, Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace. That's the Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff.
Which is funny because you've never seen it.
No, I've never seen it. You told me that it'll make a lot more sense.
Yes.
Once I watch it.
At some point, we're gonna watch it.
To my defense, I already thought The Shining was badass before I saw the movie. The Simpsons clip of The Shining was good enough on its own if I would have never watched the movie.
True.
Like Evergreen Terrace, I think it's fucking solid. If I never watched the movie, if I accidentally when you're not looking, pull that out of the picture and we never see it, it still won't change my opinion on the episode. Citizen Kang.
We didn't even talk about that one.
Right now, it's the time of season where we're supposed to elect our next slave owner.
Yeah.
So the Kang and Kodos take over Clinton and Bob Dole, yeah. And so
Bob Dole.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos. Fly versus Fly.
Okay, that's another
good time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
not the time machine, the portal. The matter transporter. Yeah. Oof. Life's a glitch and then you die.
Which one was that?
That's Homer forgot to upgrade the the Y2K.
Clang, clang with the money.
And so they wind up getting on a spaceship thinking that they're going to Mars, populate the world, and they're going towards the sun, and they can't stand the audience that's in there with all the losers, so they wanted to hit the eject button.
My favorite part about that entire episode is they get to they find Krusty, and his heart pacemaker is set to Hummingbird, and so he's flying around, and he doesn't die, but he dies, and so they take his pass, and they go to where the plane is, or the what do you call it? Rocket. Where they put the rocket, and they're like, "Oh, Lisa Simpson," and the cop gets down on his knee, and he's like, "You're gonna have to make a tough choice. You can only bring one." She's like, "Mom." And then they just get on. Like,
and Maggie got a free ride.
She did. Not even a hesitation. Not even at one point did she go, "Damn, that's a hard." She was just like, "Mom," and then just away they go.
Hope you remember me. Filled with murderous rage. Terror of Tiny Toon.
Is this when they go into the TV?
Yeah, when they go into the TV. And then they come out, and then they there's a Regis and Kathy Lee skit that they're doing a live episode on, and the animation actually falls into soup, and they fucking walk out.
Again, that's another one that was kind of ahead of its time. Like you never really saw cartoons and live people actually interacting.
Yeah. The bottom of the list is from episode 26, Telepaths of Glory.
I don't even remember what that one was.
Where the kids have the power to move stuff with their head. It was a ditch or something. Yeah, a lot of. I don't
even remember that. I don't even remember this one.
26, 27, 24, 29, 24, 20, 26, 20, 23, 26, 22, 19. That's like the bottom 10 as far as seasons.
Now, do you have a favorite episode? From start to finish, not skits, not
from little... start to finish, from consistency, it would have to be the episode where Willie dies in all three. So it's the Shinning. I'll pull this up right now. I have the list right here. It's episode number 5 from season 6. So it's the Shinning, Time and Punishment, and Nightmare Cafeteria.
Okay, that's
consistently. That probably is my number 1. And then number 2.
We talked about the Shinning.
Yeah.
We talked about
Time and Punishment. Nightmare Cafeteria
is the one with the cannibals.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much they all Skinner and Lunch Lady.
So the teachers complain that the school food sucks, so they wind up eating the children to the point where all the kids are like in one class, and they all die.
Poor Uther.
Yeah.
He gets shit.
They serve us this mysterious Uterbraten. Yeah. So
one might say
there's a little bit of Uter in us all. No. You might even say we are eating him right now. Wait, no. Scratch that.
Scratch that one.
Number 2 would probably be the episode right after that. Episode number 6, which had the Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores, Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, and our number 1, Homer 3.
Okay.
So, and that's like, if you ask me that tomorrow, that might even change.
Yeah. Mine's episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
So that's where Bart's narrating, kind of like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And it's Dracula.
Dracula's the last one. It's the Devil and Homer Simpson.
Dial Z for Terror at 5.5 feet. Yeah. The little gremlin,
which is the gremlin. Bart's on the. He has a dream that he's gonna die.
Yeah.
On the bus on the way to school, and so when he gets on the bus, he sees a little gremlin on the side of the bus, just kind of messing with it. Nobody believes him, of course. So he goes kind of crazy. I think there was a Twilight episode too, but they were on a plane. That's the original where they're on the plane. So Bart goes crazy, and then I just love whenever I love Mole Man, because like Bart runs up to Otto and he's like, Otto, there's a gremlin on the side of the bus, and he looks and it's just Mole Man just driving
an actual gremlin.
Yeah, and then he's just like, all right, I'll get him, and he just rams him off the road. And Mole Man is just driving so slow. He doesn't even hit the tree. He stops before the tree, and then it just blows up. And then whenever the gremlin falls off and Ned Flanders knocks him over, and then Ned Flanders gets out, and he's just like, he picks it up, and then he tries to swipe at him. And he's like, "Oh, he's trying to swipe at my face."
I claw my eyes out. Some honorable mentions. I'll start with one.
Give me one.
Easy Bake Coven. That was the Simpsons origin story of Halloween, where the witches. It was like, oh, okay, Marge, you've been labeled a witch. So here's how the process works. We're going to push you off this cliff. If you die, then you'll die honorably as a human. If you fly, then you're supposed to report right back here for being arrested and being burned and torched. And so it turns out Marge actually was a witch. And so they go on this tour, revenge of eating their children. And they get to the Flanders house and says, wait, instead of eating my children, wouldn't you like one of these?
It was gingerbread
kids.
Gingerbread kids.
And so
another great thing about that is when they leave the house, they don't take the Flanders kids, but they eat, and then they're like, I wish we went there first instead of getting filled up on kids. That's a great line that you don't need that in there. Nobody would ever say it, but like that just ties that whole episode, that whole skit all together for me. Lou and Carl become a snowman and like a fairy.
Oh, it's
Chief Wiggum becomes a gopher.
Yeah,
because it killed all the
you
gophers.
hags are all right.
It killed all the gophers, and then
not all of them.
Yeah, but we killed all the gophers. Not all of them. And he turns into one.
Yeah.
What else? What's another honorable mention?
I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one because I remember you mentioning how much you like this one. The one with the dolphins.
I'll put it as an honorable mention. I don't think it's as good as. It's definitely not on our list. It's not on any of my lists. Yeah. I just think it was a cool concept. Like Lisa saves one of the dolphins at an exhibit, like a SeaWorld.
They do that little riff on Free Willy.
Yes.
Except the dolphin hits her in the
smacks in the face. And then it turns out that he was the leader of the dolphins that was imprisoned. And they used to live on the land and before humans. And then we drove them into the land.
Into the water.
Yeah, into the water. I just love that, like, the whole town is about to fight them. And they start fighting it, and they're like, we got this. And then, like, the next second, they're in
on
the water.
The water.
And then the Simpsons family's on the couch, as always. And then, like, Krusty just floats by.
Face down.
Just floats by. And then Marge just kind of kicks. I think she kicks him, or she pushes him with a broom or something. And then he floats into, and I think it says the end. And it's just, like, all the dead people. I just love the fact that, like, there's that other episode. I can't remember what. It's just a regular episode where they have to move the whole town.
Oh,
it wasn't
the sanitation. The sanitation inspector. Homer becomes the new sanitation inspector, and he sells land so that other cities can make waste because he was going through the budget so fast he couldn't afford all the promises he made. To the point that Springfield became a huge landfill, so they had to literally pick up the entire town and move it 5 miles away.
I like that where he's like, "I'm going to Moe's," and he just falls out and rolls and then jumps in. So there's that. What else? Any other honorable mentions? Anything on the later stuff?
The Grand Pumpkin.
Did you like that one?
You know what? Going back and remembering some of the bits, because I told my coworkers that I did this over the weekend, and I was explaining to them about the Grand Pumpkin because there was a riff on Charlie Brown, and the one scene that stands out is where, like, the pumpkin shows up and they're like they carved out all the pumpkins and shit, and it turns the pumpkin heel. But before that, he goes, "Oh, don't be upset. Would you like some pumpkin seeds?" And then the pumpkin goes, "You roast the unborn." So they have to create this. They have to create a hero from Thanksgiving.
Yes,
an imaginary hero, Tom Turkey, which like come and saves everyone on Thanksgiving. So this Tom Turkey actually comes to life and beats up the Grand Pumpkin, only for the turkey to realize that they cut him and eat him on Thanksgiving. Yeah. So instead of waiting for Thanksgiving, he's in the same scene. He's trying to kill all the kids.
That was. I feel like that was in one of the middle. Like, that was like season. Is that like season? I could
look for it.
It's kind of like mid-season, I believe.
Yeah, let me look into it. Actually, it's season 19.
Okay.
Well, season 20, episode 19.
Okay, so that I feel like that's one of the last real good ones that I'm like that could have been in the beginning, like the earlier seasons. I think.
Yeah. Oh man, there's some pretty good ones on this list. I mean,
I will say I highly recommend if you like The Simpsons, and I mean if you like, you've been listening to us for I don't know how long, so you must like The Simpsons enough, or just us. I don't know. Appreciate it. I definitely would suggest watching them all. Halloween, and you want to find something for Halloween. It's something you can kind of stick on. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could do it by myself. The first 10 seasons I could watch by myself. The 10 episodes I could watch by myself, but like the later stuff, I need somebody to make like the joke about or to keep me awake because I was.
I knew that we had done such a half-assed job on Saturday. We should have been in episode 15, and we were only at episode 10 when we were done on Saturday. And I knew ahead of time we were going to need some uppers. So I went and got like chips
we got some.
And gummy bears, and we loaded up on caffeine.
So juicy, yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun to say that we did it,
Yeah. Now we just got to binge watch the entire series.
Are there any, besides The Shining and besides Nightmare on Elm Street, are there any movie tributes that you liked? Did you like Mr. and Mrs. Simpson?
No. Well, okay, I like the parody, but I didn't care for that movie, Mr. and Mr. Smith. I didn't really go to see, but The Simpsons pulled it off. I did enjoy it. If you've never seen it, pretty much both of them are spies. They're both hitmen or hit woman, I guess.
Yeah.
But they don't know it. But I just like Marge what did she say? She makes like 50,000 per kill.
Yeah.
What do you get? And Homer's just like, I just get to pick out of whatever's in their pockets. They have this insane fight scene where they blow up half the house.
Yeah.
The kids are up there, just obnoxious to everything.
One that I appreciated, shockingly, was Unnormal Activity.
Okay.
The tribute to Paranormal Activity.
Yes.
The way they had the cameras and everything, and they actually made it justice. Like there were a lot of scenes that were just like Paranormal Activity, where like Marge is just standing behind Homer, and that 10 or 15 seconds of her in that video clip fast forwarding, like that's it. I think out of the homages that they did from the newer half, I think they did a good job with that one.
One of my I'd probably be in the top 10 was the island of something, where they all go on a vacation and they get turned into animals.
Okay.
I really like that episode too.
What movie is that based off of?
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sure it is.
The Island of Dr. Hibbert.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah. Because Dr. Hibbert was the one that was making all the creations.
I realized it was called that.
Yeah.
That I just think it's funny. Homer, like, so all the characters get turned into different animals, and so they're on this island, and they're gonna be pretty much just become animals and do whatever they want. And then Homer is like, "Come on, guys! Like, think about your freedom. You just want to lay around and eat your own filth and roll in your dirt.
Oh, where do I sign up?
Have sex and do whatever you want." And then he's just like, "Where do I sign up?" And then he becomes a walrus.
Yeah.
Bart becomes a spider. Lisa becomes an owl or an eagle.
I think it was an owl.
Maggie becomes like an anteater type thing, or a fox or something. And then Marge becomes
a cat. She's a cat.
A cat.
Yeah, that's how Homer finds out.
Well, she's kind of like a panther, kind of like a wild cat.
So Homer has sex with Marge as a panther, and Marge is like clawing and everything, and Homer's kind of aroused but also in pain. And then like later on in that clip, he's like, "Yeah, I kind of figured through during sex."
Yeah. Was it Bart Simpson's Dracula?
Yeah.
That's classic. It's it's in my top 10. It's in my favorite episode. It's they go to Mr. Burns' house,
Pennsylvania,
and they all think Lisa thinks of course it's always Lisa. She thinks that he's a vampire, so they go down to the basement, and
it's no different than Grandpa's rest home.
It's fucked up. As a kid, you don't get it, but as an adult, you're like, God damn, that's rough. So Bart gets turned into a vampire. So they go back and they try and they kill Mr. Burns. First, Homer drives a stake right into his crotch.
Yeah.
And then they kill Mr. Burns. It turns out he's not the head vampire.
Marge is.
But my favorite part is Abe coming in and he's flying. And
I'm here to suck your blood.
And then his teeth
fall out. He turns around and hits the fridge.
And then he falls and he's like, this cape is giving me a rash. It's just like, come on, Abe. Like, I feel bad for Abe, but like, he's one of my favorite characters.
There's an episode off of a Halloween special where Homer finds his mom, and they're all making fun of Abe, and Abe's laughing with them. He goes, "I'm a living joke." One more from the later ones. I'm not sure if it's a Twilight Zone episode. I doubt it, but it feels like something that I would have seen from a Twilight Zone, even if it was around today. There was a skit called "The Greatest Story Ever Told," where basically Springfield scientists create a black hole, and so it starts sucking everything up. So Lisa drags the black hole into the basement so that nobody feeds it. And then Marge decides to put like a baby fence around it so that nobody feeds it. And then everybody starts feeding it shit without knowing. And before you know it, everybody gets sucked into the black hole.
Well, that's because Homer starts a service,
a
black hole service.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Was that one of the later seasons?
Yeah, that's 23.
Okay.
Season 24, episode 23. Yeah.
That one, yeah.
There's a couple of nuggets. There are a couple of diamonds in that, but there was a whole bunch of coal to get through.
I feel like from like maybe 20 onwards, each episode, there's 3 skits. I'd say it's 1 out of 3 is good.
I'd say 1 out of 6.
Really?
Yeah, out of every 2 episodes, there might have been 1 that at least kept my attention from 20 on.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Because even towards the middle of 15, you're still getting some good stuff or some unique stuff that you would have noticed. So, but yeah, man, 30 fucking episodes in a weekend. God,
yeah, we should have been watching the 31st one. But stupid baseball.
Maybe we'll review it in the next episode that we do. We still owe you guys Conan the Barbarian.
Yes,
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So we took a little break from my Virgin Eyes series. So next week we'll be doing Conan the Barbarian. I guess.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to find it. We'll rent it on iTunes.
I got it. That's all. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We have it. So we'll be on there. So it'll be next week. We'll have Virgin Eyes episode 5.
I think so.
5, I think it is. So that'll be next week. I don't know what else we got planned. We don't really have much planned. We don't have to think of something.
We didn't really think this through. We just did the Metallic episode, and then we just jumped onto my Virgin Eyes and just ran with that.
But then the Simpsons one kind of tied in. Yeah. So, on that note, I still don't have a send-off, but we're going to talk about beer.
Oh, yes. That's our send-off. This is another one of the...
it's the same one. It's one I drank last week.
Oh, yeah. If you missed out, Lager Jammin'. 4-brewery coalition initiative.
Yes. Brew. And then I'm drinking Great Heights in-house number 8. It is a Sabro and Strata hops IPA. It's quite delicious.
What he said.
Thank you. Paisley's not drinking anything. On that note, we still don't have a send-off.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I didn't realize I was chugging. My bad.